On February 19th, Scuderia Ferrari will unveil its new single-seater for the 2025 Formula One season. While curiosity revolves around the design of the new Maranello vehicle, the core concept of the project is what truly matters. The Italian side is determined to address a chronic weakness of recent cars, working to achieve greater mid-corner stability. Rather than prioritizing aerodynamic efficiency, the plan is to provide Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc with a predictable car that allows them to push without hesitation. Focusing on stability represents a turning point for the Ferrari engineers and technicians. Over the past 6 years, Ferrari cars have often struggled in long, medium, and high-speed corners, with the notable exception of the positive first half of the 2022 Formula One Championship. This chronic weakness has been a recurring issue, explaining the Maranello team's frequent mid-season crises. Contributing to these problems were development missteps, such as last year's aerodynamic update package introduced at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, which exacerbated porpoising issues. However, the traditional European circuits, characterized by sweeping long-duration corners, have consistently exposed the flaws of Ferrari's recent cars, undermining results. Tracks like Barcelona, Budapest, and Zandvoort have often been particularly challenging for the Maranello team. In the past 2 years, Ferrari has shown a commitment to tackling this issue. The 2024 F1 car marked the beginning of a revolution, prioritizing drivability to reduce steering corrections, preserve tires, and improve race pace. While past designs emphasized peak performance with strong qualifying results, since last year, Ferrari has been working to expand the operating window, ensuring consistent and predictable handling across a wider range of conditions. The SF-25, which contended for the 2024 Formula One Championship until the final race in Abu Dhabi, benefited from this new approach, though stability in long-duration corners remained a challenge, something Ferrari is well aware of. Aerodynamic updates introduced during 2024 improved the situation, including the flexible front wing debuted in Austin. By deforming at high speeds, the new wing moderated aerodynamic load on the front end, reducing oversteer tendencies in faster corners and boosting driver confidence. However, enhancing stability in long-duration corners is a more complex task, difficult to achieve mid-season without comprehensive interventions. For this reason, the Ferrari engineers decided to act early. Despite still being in contention for the Constructors' Championship, the Scuderia chose not to introduce further aerodynamic updates at the end of 2024, instead developing an experimental floor to gather data for the 2025 car, an investment typically around €500,000. The floor, which debuted during the first free practice session for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, was specifically aimed at improving stability in medium and high-speed long-duration corners. It is no coincidence that the only track where the new floor was used in a race was Qatar, with its many long corners, while it was set aside in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, considering the fact that the 5.281-kilometer Yas Marina circuit on Yas Island is dominated by hairpins and sharp 90-degree turns. Charles Leclerc described it as a different approach, calling it very good in some areas and worse in others compared to the 2024 floor. With the 2025 Formula One car, Ferrari now aims to develop greater mid-corner stability. The goal is to reduce lap times not only by increasing peak aerodynamic load, but by making it consistent and available throughout the entire cornering phase. To achieve this, Ferrari is working to increase the energy of both the airflow beneath the floor and along the car's sides, which then exits in the gearbox diffuser area. Significant attention is also being given to managing the turbulent wakes from the front wheels, pushing them away from the floor. Crucial areas for this effort include the outer edge of the floor, the bodywork lines, and the radiator inlets, whose design is being leveraged to increase the pressure around the sides of the cockpit, helping to deflect turbulence. Achieving better mid-corner stability would represent a breakthrough for Ferrari and give the drivers the confidence needed to push the car to its limits. However, it remains to be seen how well the 2025 Ferrari will suit both drivers, given that Charles Leclerc prefers a more oversteer-biased setup, whereas Lewis Hamilton favors a stable rear end. Regardless of their balance preferences, the work on stability will benefit both the Monegasque and the Briton. The Lewis Hamilton-Charles Leclerc era at Ferrari is therefore drawing closer, and the first car they will share is the 677. It's a new project that will feature changes to many structural, dynamic, and aerodynamic elements. the SF-25 is expected to fight for both championships, drivers and constructors. This will only happen if the developments are effective, with correlation, and the drivers playing a central role for a specific reason. In recent years, Ferrari's development has faced several issues due to correlation that was not always accurate. However, the upgrades introduced in 2024, such as the major Monza package and the Las Vegas floor, have brought the development department back on track. These updates were also complicated by the differences in the drivers and their driving styles. The arrival of Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari will not only be an incentive to maximize effort, but also an additional boost to development. The analytical skills of the seven-time world champion and his adaptability will allow the Maranello team to pursue a single development direction. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, two of the best Formula One drivers, share a preference for a solid and responsive front end, but differ in how they manage the rear. Hamilton is known for his smoothness, control, and adaptability. He prefers a stable front end that ensures precision when entering corners and a predictable rear that allows effective throttle modulation. His ability to manage tires by balancing aggression and preservation makes him efficient in races and crucial moments. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, focuses on aggressiveness and pure talent. He loves an extremely reactive front end, even at the expense of rear stability. His instinctive style, characterized by late braking and controlled oversteer, maximizes immediate performance but involves higher risks. In summary, the British driver is methodical and balanced, while the Monegasque is aggressive and instinctive, reflecting complementary yet different approaches. Their driving approaches will directly influence the complexity of developing a car. Although both prefer a solid and responsive front end, their differences in handling the car's rear and overall balance determine the Maranello team's technical needs. Regarding the seven-time F1 world champion, his methodical and balanced style makes development simpler and more predictable. His adaptability to various configurations allows engineers to focus on a balanced, gradual project suited to diverse race conditions. On the other hand, Charles Leclerc's aggressive and reactive style demands more specific and sometimes extreme technical solutions. This increases the project's complexity, particularly in balancing a sharp front end with a lively rear without compromising stability and reliability. In essence, Lewis Hamilton's driving style facilitates a linear and universal development approach, while Charles Leclerc's can push toward high-risk innovations, increasing technical complexity. It's a challenge for everyone involved, who will have to draw on the expertise of both new and seasoned technicians at Maranello. One key figure is Loic, Ferrari's new technical director, who will be tasked with strengthening and making Maranello's chassis department a technical benchmark. In recent years, this has been one of the Scuderia's weaknesses.